Hey, Book Bay, it is BLOVE here, and I wanted to come and do a really quick preface video for my next full-length release. I'm gonna try not to go too in-depth with details about the characters because I have another video coming out next week that's going to be specifically about the characters. So I'm going to try to just keep it as an overall type of summary about what you can expect from the book as a whole and give you some, details about it. As far as the genre and all of that kind of stuff is concerned as well. So to start out, the book is called In His Possession, bought by a Black Mafia Prince. It is two of my favorite genres to write, which is street lit and romance. And I honestly think it's going to be one of my best books to date. Y'all, let me just tell y'all. If you are not a fan of street lit or a dark-ish type of theme when it comes down to books, don't read this. It is going to have a happily ever after. It is a romance. There is a love story, but the main two characters come together because of the main female lead's horrible position, and she has to struggle. She has to um, sacrifice and have some very dark moments before she actually meets him. So if you're easily triggered, or if you don't like romance that has kind of like a dark tone in the beginning, you may want to skip this read. It's very, hmm, what's the best way to describe it? It's very raw and it's very real. And it is not a fairy tale by any means. So I just wanted to put that disclaimer out very quickly. So I'm still writing the book. It comes out May 18th. My goal is for it to be 100,000 words. If it's not exactly 100,000 words, it's going to be very, very close to it just because I have a lot of layers to unpack with this couple, and I didn't want to do it as a series. I wanted it to be a really thick standalone novel. So it is going to be a lengthy read. It's not going to be fast paced at all, which is what I'm typically known for doing. So this is definitely a switch up for me. Um, what else can I tell you guys? It is going to be available as an ebook, which is up for pre-order now, and the paperback is available for pre-order on my website, but it is not going to be under Kindle Unlimited. So you won't be able to borrow the title if you have Kindle Unlimited. You have to actually purchase the book in order to read it. Any other details that I can give you before I start talking about the book? I think that's it. Okay, so now we can talk about the good stuff. So, In His Possession features the current leader of the Black Mayhem Mafia, which is Assad Black. He's currently running the mafia that was started by his father and his father's close friend. With Assad being the leader, he takes on the responsibility of being the protector and provider for everyone as well. So whether it's someone in the mafia, family, friend, stranger, it doesn't matter. If he sees anyone in need, he's going to do all that he can to help them, which is how he ends up meeting Scarlett Graham. Scarlett is currently in the possession of Malcolm. And we can say, without going into too much detail, that she is very unhappy, miserable, even depressed to a certain extent because of her current situation. But she stays because being with Malcolm is better than being with her ex-husband. So when you start reading the book and you see everything that she's going through in the beginning, you're probably going to be like, girl, why don't you just run away? Why don't you just leave him? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? But I want you to keep in mind, we're talking about some very powerful men in the streets. And Scarlett is the kind of woman who requires protection. So she pretty much had to choose the lesser of two evils, and that's how she became Malcolm's possession. Now, with that being said, she's content with where she is, even though it's horrible because she knows it could be worse. But there's also a part of her that has hope that one day things will get better for her. And that is where Assad comes in. Assad comes in like a hood knight in shining armor. He's going to win her in this poker bet, and she's now his quote unquote possession. But of course, Assad, he's a stand up guy. So his motive with securing her freedom is not to make her a prisoner of his own. He's getting her, he's buying her to actually free her. But when he makes this decision, he's unaware of all of the skeletons in her closet and everything that she comes with and everything that she's running from. So what he thinks is going to be an easy trade between him and Malcolm begins to unravel all of these other situations that require him to keep her in his possession instead of letting her go so she can live her own life. So as she remains within close proximity to Assad, they begin to develop a relationship of some sorts. It's not love at first sight where they're instantly, infatuated with each other and on good terms or anything like that by any means. They are attracted to each other, but Scarlett has been used to being used and abused her whole life. So she's not expecting anything different from Assad, which puts her in a position to have a lot of guards up. And for Assad, as rough and tough as he is, he's like putty when it comes to women. So he's had his heart broken in the past. He's definitely not trying to surrender himself to another beautiful woman just for her to walk all over him again. So even though there's attraction there, even though there's need and desire there, they definitely don't give into their feelings for each other quickly or easily for that matter. But you know me, I have to do my traditional happily ever after. So they're going to get there eventually. There will be a lot of bumps along the road and a lot of things for them to overcome. But it will be worth it in the end. Again, in his possession is a very urban, hood, streets, dark romance. So it is a romance. It does have those mushy moments and elements. It will have moments where you'll laugh and all of that good stuff. But it does start with a very dark tone because of Scarlett's current situation. So that's the disclaimer, y'all. Read at your own risk. It's going to be very good. You're going to be captivated from beginning to end, but just be prepared for that because her life is crazy. When I say crazy, I mean crazy. Like, I don't think I've written something um that was this crazy in a really long time. Definitely not this year. Maybe not even maybe 2019. I don't think I've done anything like, well, I did Promise to Keep It Real and that was crazy. So this is definitely on the level of Promise to Keep It Real when it comes down to the craziness. But again, it comes out May 18th. It is available for pre-order now on Amazon in ebook form. And the paperback, if that's your preference, is available on my website. I'll drop the links for both in the description box of this video. If you would like to be notified as soon as the book goes live, make sure you sign up for my mailing list by texting BLOVE to 42828. Until next time, love, be.